So I remember, like, when I met you, I knew that you didn't take no shit. And, like, your personality was, you were in control. Like, you had game that I didn't have back then. I was just a baby coming out of YA. So it was like, being around you, seeing you getting your paper, I'm like, damn, she's got a cold hustle. So I was always trying to figure out what other hustle could I do. And I remember you even telling me, like, what are they paying you? Oh, nah, you should be getting more than this, and you should be negotiating, doing this and that. So you put me up on game on how to ask for more money when I was on the set because, I'm getting my little measly paycheck, and then you telling me, like, nah, I'm like, damn, I'm working hard and ain't getting nowhere. I'm like burning myself out. So I was just like really trying to figure my way. And like I said, you were so much more advanced than me at that time and just having exposure to what was happening. And I think I had been out of YA for like 6 months before that. And I hadn't really been in the streets. So the sex game was different and you were so much gamed up. And it was just like, it was cool meeting you because you laced me up. And then it's like, it had me thinking like, I got to do something else. So I kind of went off to do other things to try to figure out what was my path because like in the porn industry, it seemed like I was kind of just treading water. And I know, like I said, you went on to do other things and, for you to even the stripping was more opportunity and then you were able to kind of translate that into business moves. What did you do after stripping? Because I know you said that you were always pretty smart. And I remember you had your own spot back then. You were
always
nice car. I'm
always.
Like damn, your shit was tight. Your shit was tight. And anybody I remember when you said you used to look at your phone, dude would be calling you like had dudes in check like on the schedule like So it was just to me impressive because it was just you were a different type of female back then.
And I did dominatrix, so it was like a chance for me to get all my growing up frustrations out on y'all asses. What you want? What? Why are you calling my phone? Is it what time? How much money you got? It worked for me. And the people that fucked with me, apparently it worked for them. Because they loved it. They loved my realness and everything that came with it. And what you was going to see about Chyna is that she always had her blunt. That's a given. I loved to smoke my weed back then. And that was my only vice. And I'm going to say it was a vice because I had to have my weed rolled the night before for the next morning when I get up. I want to smoke my blunt, and start my day and start strategizing shit. That's what I did, And so this was we're going to move forward to about 97. And I was in the industry still dancing, but I was kind of like, tired of doing that. And somebody had called me and was like, hey, they doing auditions for the Players Club. It's a role that we think you're going to be good for, which was Ronnie. They was like, you always got the girls working for you, and you've been in this game, and you aggressive like her, da-da-da-da-da. And they was like, so we want you to come down. So I went down and auditioned, and then I got a call back. And I was like, this really ain't what I'm into, It's cool, but that's not what I'm used to. I like, want my money, this kind of way. And then this, you may do a day or two, which is what I'm thinking. And it's stopping me from my real shit. Because I had, like, on the weekends, Friday and Saturdays, we had, like, parties lined up, 3 each night. We did 3 bachelor parties each night because we had me and a girlfriend named Mercedes Ashley. She ended up doing porn. So we would have it set up in increments of time. So we knew we were going to make this month just for showing up at the bachelor parties, those 3, plus our tips. So we would have thousands on Friday night and Saturday night. So for me to not know what this side is like and you just going over here, if you don't get it, then it's extra work. So I went back and I auditioned again for Cube on my callback. And he said I did really good, but they wanted a light-skinned girl that was going to wear that wig, the blonde wig. So that's how that ended up happening. I actually did Cube's bachelor party. So fucking cool. Yeah. I mean, no problem. They had refrigerators full of nothing when you open it at the bachelor party with St. Ives. That was the thing. 40s back then in there, But none of the guys were like disrespectful. Yeah. He wasn't trying to screw nobody at his bachelor party. Like, things were super cool. So then That didn't work out, but I got a call back to just be on the set. I ended up working that set for 12 days. I was on that set. And then after that, I went on to Master P was doing I Got the Hookup. So I went on and I worked on his set with him on that movie. And then after that, he did a movie called The Last Dawn. And I got a feature on that. I'm one of the girls that was on stage dancing, that was nude or whatever. So that was cool. And when I tell you he was such a gentleman, Master P, and how he had his shit ran, just like you.
Yeah.
This was business. And for a black man to be able to get into this shit and do it and direct and produce in their own shit, they were serious about it. So we're not gonna have no shit on the set. We got securities. You guys gonna treat these ladies respectfully, regardless if they're playing extras as strippers or whatever they're doing. It was no bullshit. I had one incident on the Last Dawn set, and I'm not gonna call no name, but this one guy told me, he came in my trailer and he was like, oh, you gotta do, give me head. I said, nigga, you got me fucked up. He was like, oh, if you wanna be in this movie, you got to. I said, nigga, this ain't your movie. You a fucking actor in here. I don't have to do shit. You better go to somebody else's trailer with that shit or we gonna fight. And he was like, oh, well, you gonna do it or you ain't gonna be in this movie. Hold on, bro. I'll be right back. I went and told P what the fuck the deal was, and he was like, what? He said, what? Hell no. And he went and hollered at him. Now what? Because I have a rapport with P now from I Got the Hookup and how he run his shit. You wasn't in that movie, but you doing, you're around here trying to come in. I don't move like that.
With this funny shit.
Little bitty motherfucker, I don't move like that. We will fight up in here. You not signing my check. I didn't sign a release with you or none of that, but you just in here like one of us. And you come and telling me what I'm going to do. That's what I'm not going to do. And it didn't happen. But I'm saying that to say, those sets, it was different. We never had to be forced to do anything we didn't want to do. They didn't play that shit. And it was straight by the book. We had so much fun. We were treated well. We were compensated well, And, that's what I can say. P is a upstanding gentleman back then. And his guys that he ran, that he had, Mystical and, the role managers and all that, they were just so fucking cool. They always made sure we were good. If we drink the liquor, we had our weed, we had food, whatever, and our money. We're going to be taken care of, escort them in and out, because P said he don't need that bullshit.
That's right.
He don't need nothing negative attached to his name. And I respect him for that so much, for letting us be who we were, but make sure we were protected and they ain't a bunch of hoes, because we in here working. End of the day, we in here working. We got to sign W-2s, And so after I did those movies, I was like, I really wanted to get out the dancing industry. And I had this is funny, because all the craziness that I do and, handful and don't care about toting a gun and none of that shit, because that's just who I was. I'm the protector of everybody, all my girls, and they know,
I remember you were strapped up back then. You weren't taking no shit.
Always. Yeah. I had the pearl handle back then. I did not give I've always carried a gun because I'm always going to make sure I'm good.
Yeah.
Because when you're bored to parents who didn't protect you and who didn't make sure you were good, and that's all you got, and people will say, well, why are you so strong nowadays? And guys, it's like a tug of war about who I am and me thinking I'm too dominant or whatever. You really don't understand when you have to raise yourself and you have to be in these streets and nobody's protecting you but you. So let me find a man that I can trust, for one, to stay around long enough to not just see me as an object, or want to ride on some other shit, to let you lead. I don't have a problem letting my man lead and being a man. I want to wear the dress all the time. But I'm not finna let you lead me off the cliff because you say you a man and this is what the Bible say or this is what you should do and you too hard. No, I got too much to lose. Just within the mental fight of myself, like, you supposed to have grown beyond that. And how dare you let this shit happen again at this age? But when the right one comes, it's going to be inevitable, and it's going to be so fucking easy and organic. It won't feel forced. You ain't got to tell me that shit. You're going to see it. because I trust you with my life. I trust you with my being. You know, I trust you with my safety because you've shown me that words don't mean nothing to me. Words fall short all the time. I look at consistency and what you show me on a daily. I don't care what you say. You don't have to tell me anything. I can see, you know, what your actions are and let that be enough. So with that being said, it's been hard for me to keep a consistent dating life because then you got some people that want to do that, but then they feel it's a competition with you and them and what you're doing in life and what they're doing in life.
A lot of
That's
ego
so stupid.
for a guy.
Yeah. Or why you know this people, or how you know, because I had a life before you. But I'm never going to disrespect you. If we're together, we're together. I'm never going to let anybody else come up and disrespect you. You know, but some people can't deal with that you know this person or you know this person. Well, you know what? Ask a lot of those people I have not slept with, and that's why we still friends. And I'm still the homegirl because they know I'm real people and they respect me in that way. And I'm not going to not talk to them or say that, you know, they can't be around because now you came along. These people were here before you. And they've shown me nothing but love and support through a lot of shit that I've, you know, gone through and experienced. Certain people have never left me, you know, with separation and divorces, you know, and you got people that still have your back. Like, do you need this? Do you need that? Why are you transitioning? Because they know who you are, you know, and you're good people. But some guys are just intimidated by it, and it makes no sense because I don't care if you have a female friend. She's not my competition. I don't have a competition. If I'm with you, this is what we're doing. You had a life before you met me, and you should know your boundaries. You know, and where that shit starts and ends. I should be able to trust you away from me just like I trust you to do what you're going to do in front of me and vice versa, you know. It's called respect. And so, got ahead of myself. I'm going to go back to the end of 97 when I got out the game. I was in the living room with my arms stretched to God for 2 weeks straight before I would go to work, before I would go strip, before I would go do all the things that I would do. I would pray, and I was on my knees with my arms stretched to God for 2 weeks straight saying, God, please let me know what my purpose is. You know, who have you created me to be? You know, what should I be doing? Because I can't get up and go do this another day. I can't fake the funk in the club for the table dances. I can't act like I want to hear your bullshit about what's going on in your life at your house with you and your wife and, you know, be your goddamn therapist at the club for the table dances. Or are you paying me to sit there and listen while the dances go by? You know, just sit here. I couldn't do it another day because I really don't give a fuck. I don't. It was work for me. And so my girlfriend, Mercedes, she was dating someone. And he had a friend, and she was like, Chyna, I got this guy I want you to meet. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I go and meet her over there. We were going to go to do a party. And so I go meet her by their house, and I see him, and he had just came back from cycling. So he had on a little hat that was turned. I said, girl, he gay. I'm not fucking with him with that little bitty cycling hat on. What the fuck? And then, you know, little spandex, he was cycling. I wasn't used to that shit. I'm a hood girl, you know. I need a thug kind of, you know, cat. So she was like, oh, Chyna, you tripping. He's a great guy. He's only 3 years older than you. He's been on this job for 12 years. She was just like really trying to sell him to me. And I'm like, nope, let's go. We left. Another weekend, I went over there to meet her again, and he was just chilling, casual with his little cotton sweatsuit, 2-piece cotton regular sweatshirt. And I was like, oh, okay. He looked kind of cute today. So we exchanged numbers, and we went out, and we were like kind of inseparable from that day forward. And a few months into it, I told him, you know, where I worked and what I was really doing and all this stuff. And he came to see me at the club, and he broke me off. He walked out. We had pagers then. Then he paged me. He paged me. He paged me when he left, and he was like, you know, so I appreciate everything you're doing, you know, and you seem like you're making good money, and they all like you. He said, but if we're going to be together, you can't do that shit. He said he had never been in a strip club, and all that was a first, but that wasn't gonna work. And I said, you know what? I got rent, I got car note, I got one child that's in private school, a Catholic school. I got all these things I have to do. So it's no way that I could just not do this. I have to transition. He said, write a list of all your bills for the month, and I got you. And I'm like, it's only been 3 months. Like, you know what? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But I'm going to call his bluff. I did that. And that man stood true to his word. He made sure everything was taken care of. And he said, all I want you to do is find out who Sean is. Find her. Do what you want to do. Go to school, get another job, but you can't do this. And so it allowed me to go back to school. And so I respect him. He never pressured me about working. He didn't care about that. Every couple of years I had a new car, a new truck, whatever I want. 5 months after I met him, I was like, oh, the new body of my car came out. I want a new one. He was like, go find what you want. When I get off of work, we'll go get it. And he wasn't some old trick. He was only 3 years older than me, and he was very handsome and just a good dude. And I said, you know what, God, this is who I have been praying for. I didn't know what he was going to look like. I didn't know if he was black, white, or what. I just know that it wasn't for me. And he sent somebody to me for me to be able to do what he created me to do, to get out of there, to transition over. And that's when I got into mental health. And I've been doing that since September of 2000.
Oh, wow.
And it's 2020. And I started off just working as a counselor in the group homes. And then I was like, okay, I need more money than this. And we were opening up a day treatment program. They said, well, go back to school and do the medical bill and insurance coding, because we're going to need to bill for the psychiatrists and the nurses over there. So I went to school and I did that in 2004, and I graduated January of 2005. And they opened up and I did that. And I stayed with them. That was Gay and Lesbian Adolescent Social Services, where they took in gay and lesbian youth from 12 to 18. And then if you went to school, you could stay there in the transitional housing from 18 to 24 if you went to school or worked. And so we got a lot of kids that were wards of the court, or, we would go out to Sylmar and pick up kids from juvenile hall, because a lot of group homes, our foster parents wouldn't want gay kids. They said that they would maybe touch the other kids, or they would influence the other kids to be that way. So these kids were kind of like, thrown around.
Like ostracized.
So this lady, Terry De Crescenzo, she was a gay lady, and she opened this up for them. And when I tell you, it became massive. We had places in Palmdale, we had places in Frisco, we had places all over to help the youth. And I stayed there. She was in business for 25 years, and I was there for 10 until 2010, until they folded. And then by then, me and my kid's father, ended up having 2 kids with him. We had separated. And then I went to work on from there with LA Child Guidance, was another place like people would have to come to for therapy, because maybe something happened to your kids and the kids were taken out of the home, DCFS or whatever. They were mandated to come and do that. So I was integrated systems billing specialist and medical records liaison. So I left there and I went to the VA, and I worked in their mental health department, quality assurance coordinator and integrated systems billing specialist. But I went back to school in 2008 for drug and alcohol counseling and psychology. Then I went back in 12 for refresher with the billing. And then in 14, I went for quality assurance coordinator. I went to take those classes so I could be behind the scenes now. So I worked there for like 5 years with the VA, and I love my vets. I love my vets. They some characters, but I never made them feel indifferent. And crazy sees crazy. Where other ones would come from, we on this side in finance and corporate, and we coming out and we house 200 vets. And they may talk to themselves, or they may be a little crazy or ex-druggies, but they're trying to get their stuff together and run a program. you've had some of the upper heads that would come out from corporate, the side we're on, and they're like this on their phones because they don't want to make eye contact with the vets. Well, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have a fucking job.
That's right.
We wouldn't be here. You know what I'm saying? Every time I come out, hey, they already know. Miss Chantel is cool as fuck. This is Miss Chantel. This is what she do. Hey, they won't let nobody fuck with Miss Chantel. The newbies that come in and be like, oh, look at the record. Don't talk to Miss Chantel like that. You can't say that. I didn't even have to say nothing.
Yeah, they had your back.
Hell yeah. When the time changes, they going to walk me to my car and make sure I'm good, because certain ones, when they come in and I know their personalities and this and that and the other, I just give you the rundown. You here to run your program or you can get the fuck out. Period. Right now, you don't have a job. You don't have no money. You don't have shit to offer a woman, so you shouldn't be trying to talk to me or nobody else. Be in here. Get your shit together. If you need me, I got your fucking back on any questions you need to ask. I'm going to tell you what to say when it's time to go back there to get your fucking service connection money. Just do right. And I got your back. Where other people was in here for the paycheck, ain't none of this shit my money. And I'm not going to sign up for the service. I'm not going to no war. I'm not doing none of that. So if I could tell you on the front end of what you need to do and how to get your shit, that's what I do, down to helping them get, their Medi-Cal along with their VA benefits. And a lot of them didn't even know how to pay medical bills. They get shit, Miss Chantel, I got this, I don't know what to do with. Sit down, I'm going to show you right now. I'm finna get on the phone, on the speakerphone. I'm finna do this one bill with you and show you how to take care of this. And you do the rest yourself. Anything else, come back and let me know. And they'd be like, they would just like send me stuff when they leave because they knew that how good of a person I was and I cared about them and not just the job. They'll send me flowers or handwrite cards or whatever, just saying thank you, for being just a good human when they didn't know my backstory. We all come from something.
Yeah, because a lot of those guys sound like guys getting out of jail or the pen, like not knowing nothing and trying to get their life together.
Yeah, and why you gonna kick somebody when they down?
That's right.
Or act like they're invisible and they say, oh, good morning, Miss Chantel, how you doing? I'll be like, good, how are you? A couple of guys be like, how am I? Yeah, how are you? You ask me how I'm doing, how are you?
Yeah.
Like, wow, you really care. I just
treat them like a human being, though.
Yeah, and they didn't know what I grew up in. Being in a house with a crazy auntie that one minute saying she fucking work at Martin Luther King, the next minute she the president of the United States, and everybody got on skin suits and shit, and being locked in a house when you little, and watching your dad attempt to shoot your mom, and they don't know your backstory. They just see this lady now. Bruh, I can relate to all your hardship. Believe me, and I want to help you get to the other side. Because somebody believed in me and gave me a chance, and then I took it and ran with it, even though it didn't work out with he and I. We still friends. We co-parented. When he would come over, he would give me a hug and he'd say, I love you. Thanks for being a great mom to my kids. The kids knew and still know, that they came from love. Or he would call, I'm coming to take you and the kids and their girlfriends to lunch, what have you. I have a son and a daughter with him. My daughter just passed in June. And she was 19, and that was another eye-opener for me. That I would never thought I would be on the reverse side of this mental health thing now. Because now you gotta grieve. You gotta go through depression. You gotta realize that this is your life. Because at first, this is not my life. This is a fucking dream. This is not my life. I protected my kids to no end. They couldn't even go outside and play unless I was in the garage watching them because I would think somebody was going to steal my kids. I had to be sitting on the porch or in the garage or something. And they were raised in a house the whole time. So I tried to do the best by them, and they understood that they had a voice because I was raised to be, kids are to be seen and not heard. They know that they could talk to me about anything. They would bring their friends over to talk to me. Well, my mom's in a mental health field. You can come and talk to her. She doesn't judge. And my daughter would be like, oh, this is my friend. And I just want her to talk to you because her mom calls her a bitch and this, that, and the other. And this one is my friend. And her mom says she wish she would have had cerebral palsy instead of her other sister because she's gay. And, and I would just talk to these kids and help them to understand life and that just because people are adults and parents don't make you know everything. You know, we got a lot of people that are a certain age that don't know shit because they didn't choose to grow.
That's
and
right.
I have my 2 oldest boys. I have 3 kids. I have a 29-year-old, a 21, and my daughter just made 20 in September that passed, and we still celebrated her 3 months after her death. We celebrated her 20th birthday in 2020. They have kids, you know, my 2 oldest. My oldest has 3 with the same mom, and then my 21-year-old, he has one with, he and his girlfriend who's in school to be a doctor, and they're doing good things. And I let them know that you guys were always able, I wanted you to be able to have a voice because I didn't never want you to feel that you weren't good enough. And so if we set these kids up at a young age to think that you can't say anything, you can't express your feelings to me as my child who gave you life, who's not understanding this big fucking world around you. You know, remember when we were coming up and life could be scary. You know, some instances and transitions, you need to come and talk to me because mommy done been through everything. You know, and if I could tell you take this detour, that's what I want you to do. Be honest with me, and they know that, you know, you might not get a whooping if you tell me the truth. Don't fucking lie to me because I can't stand liars. That's one thing I despise is liars and disloyal motherfuckers. Period. We are loyal to each other. We ain't gonna always like each other, but we always gonna love each other. And we gonna be right by each other because it's enough bullshit out in the street, you know. So they knew they could come talk to me about anything. I'm not gonna judge them. I'm not gonna get mad at you because if you can't talk to me, I don't know what's going on inside of you, so I can't help you. And I'm helping so many people every day. I need to be able to be there and help my kids through whatever. And so they understand that. Because if you shun your kids and what they're talking about is not important, they're not going to feel important in relationships. They're not going to feel that they matter at work. They're not going to feel that they matter every day in life just showing up. You know, they won't feel worthy. You fuck up their self-esteem. You know, if they're not important, then why the fuck did you have them? That's first priority. You be the best parent. You know, you take some of the shit that you didn't like from your parents. You got to unlearn a whole bunch of stuff.
Program a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that was taught to you. And then you do your own research and you pull these things together, you know? And I realized I had a lot of things to unlearn from broken people that had raised me, you know, and to help my kids to be more mentally stable than I was.